fine. But for the sake of time, I want us to start the program. If we could just give a little bit of an ear, so that you can quickly wrap things up. Get we here to eat in the stomach, the physical one, eat in this stomach, eat in the heart stomach, all the stomachs, but there's one we're not going to be eating here. Just one. All the other ones will be covered. All right. So if you see on your tables, we have a program, and we are going to be now, we're done with the coffee and the photos. We're also going to be having if one photo of all of us, if possible, and one after we've now done with the coffee, we're going to be now opening the session officially. There's someone that I'm not seeing that was supposed to open the session with a prayer, but I can also pray just so that we can ensure indobana we dedicate the session properly. So just for a minute or two, I am going to now pray to open the session officially. Father, in the name of Jesus, we come to you this morning. We thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. We thank you for this time. We thank you that you have made us to gather in this place. We understand that it is not by chance. We understand that it is not by coincidence, but it is by a great purpose. We thank you, Lord, that you have given us a responsibility so great as people who have gone out to start businesses. Thank you that you keep strengthening us, and even in this session, we shall learn something new. We are open to hear, we are open to learn, we are open to understand. Guide the entire process. In the name of Jesus, we have prayed. Amen. All right. And now, in terms of officially welcoming everybody, we have so many important people, phakathi kwethu namhlanje, largely ladies. This was not supposed to be a ladies event. I don't know what happened. Even here in the world, the percentage your mama is just, high. That's why even at church, them ladies are struggling, because there are only 3 guys and there's 30 of us. It's not easy. It's a hustle. It's a struggle. So I'm sure it's happening like that. But we do have gentlemen in our midst, and we appreciate that they are here as well. So ladies and gentlemen, feel free. This is a session for us to just network, to mingle, to learn, largely to learn something. I think also as entrepreneurs, we find that we just so focused in the hustle. Like, we're just hustling. Hey, 1 + 1 bangaphumi babe ngu2 baphuma bengu11 all the time. It's about, when do I get the next deal, when do I get the next client, who do I sign up, who do I convince, who do I how much money is in my bank account, how can I increase it? It's always all about that. And sometimes we forget that singabantu sidinga sometimes, and siphefumlelane as well, because being so caught up in that space, you are doing this, you are trying it all on your own. You don't know if you're doing right or doing wrong. You don't know the mistakes. You don't know. But you are in the hustle. You are in it. And that's good. But we do need to be in spaces, or can you dedicate times where we are exposing ourselves to each other, to learn from each other, and also exposing ourselves to people that, are experts in different fields. The past weekend, I was actually attending a session in East London, and one of by the person I was speaking to, I'll never forget what he said. He said sometimes, and he was referring to Christians. I'm not boxing this to Christianity or Christians. Go out and find that knowledge, you will not close that. And when you have that knowledge, knowledge gap, you will not know what you're supposed to know. And when you don't know what you're supposed to know, you will not be able to do it. You cannot even fake it, for that matter. And that, causes us to circle in the same place over and over and over again, making the same mistakes over and over again, because we like taking things and putting them in the space of knowledge. So it's like, what do you do then? Firstly, to understand about in knowledge gaps is team. Are you honest enough with yourself to say, and in admitting it, then go out and seek out the knowledge that I need to get into that gap and close it. And then you can even delegate it, for that matter. If you know it's a knowledge gap at a place you don't understand, then find someone who can be able to fill it, so that at least that part is taken care of. So namhlanje, we are here to close certain areas that we struggle with. And one of the highest ones is finances. Because ching ching, it's the money. We struggle so much, and the most amazing thing about this area is that it's one of the key elements to cause the wheel to continue moving, ne? But there was someone who said to me one time, Obana, listen, even if you pay 5,000, okay, you're making 5,000 from your business, stop wishing that you have 50,000 without checking about 5,000 function like it's supposed to be. Because once you get to 50,000, you will take all the habits as wrong and graduate with them at 50,000. No one at 5,000, no one at 50,000, yeah, fine. No one at 500,000, you're still at the same place, even when you have 5 million. We need to get to a time when we're talking millions and billions. Like really now. So it's like, if we don't take time to intentionally understand, and there are so many different things that affect us, that cause us, manage money. It is a Caesar, but a guy. It is a business thing. What the month end? You're scratching your head. The books, the books, they talk, they show, they're speaking the language. And when you've convinced yourself, but the books, they're talking a different language. The books are showing the numbers, and they're saying, how did you work with it? What did you do with it? Did you make it grow? Do you even understand how to keep it? And then there's this concept of living within our means, which is really another struggle that we have. No employed, no matter you are running a business, you can't live within the 10,000. Do you feel my ubomba when I 20, or 10, ubon be maths high kunzi. It's not coming, So with those words, I'm saying welcome. Let's feel free to engage, to express ourselves, to say, to ask. There is nothing. I once read a book, and in that book, this author said, what is the meaning of thinking? What is to think? To think is to basically ask questions and come up with answers, and ask further questions to that and come up with answers. And as you refine that process, you are making sense of a certain. Also gonna the mic, it doesn't bite. But we gotta accommodate people who are afraid of it as well. If you're on my end, mic, let me just ask the question, and then let's continue. And then I'm just going to, for a quick round of, just say your name, your surname, and the institution that you come from, so that we know who we are in the room. We know who's in the room, but obviously we do have these beautiful people that are sitting on my, is my right? Yes, on my right. On my right. They are going to be giving us a lot of wealth of information and knowledge and pearls of wisdom today. And these are the people we need to ask them questions. We need to really, please look at them and ask them questions. because they have, agreed to be with us today and to just impart what they know. So a quick round, just say your name, your surname, where you come from. Not place in terms of where you come from, but the institution, the company, the business. I know Martin Tonton. Slash continuously. If you want to touch on all of them, you can still do so. As we do that, I do want to also acknowledge, I don't know if she'll like me doing this, but let me continue. I want to acknowledge the provincial chairperson of the BMF. She is with us. She's a very special person, a leadership, a woman who is in leadership, a leader, a sweet leader. And she has decided that this event she wants to come to, we want to recognize that. We also want to recognize a woman in our midst who is also, she represents us, Kesana, as the win party, agriculture, board member, ton. slash it needs. But she's also representing us as a province, Nagwezinye provinces in different board platforms, your Potato SAs, your Eastern Cape Rural Development Agency. She's really standing there as someone who is, holding the flag high for women in business and women in agriculture. But we continue the introductions. We can start. Thank you.
Mnake ndingunokuthula Vilem, ndiphuma apha abatsha accounting and tax.
Thank you. Nandingusamkeli Nqanali. I'm the founder and the CEO of Braids by Sanke. Thank you.
I own a coffee opposite Epic Daddy or Seminissimo.
Molweni ndingu Avile Jaka and Ngolapha Komani, the manager and the founder ka AVJ's Kitchen.
Molweni ndingu Meli Tanani, ndingowalapha eKomani, the founder yeTingo Beauty Bar. Beauty bar home-based is a location.
Molweni, ndingu Lydia Jaceni, the naturopathic doctor and an owner yeKomani Health Shop.
Molweni, ndingu Vukani Community Radio, sales and marketing manager waseVukani.
Molweni, mna ndinguNokhanyo wakwaMakleba, managing director ka Agros.
Molweni, Kabalam Dunyane Lakambi. I am the founder of Distinct Brand Management. Molweni, Nandingunati Stores and Sukayes Dextrom. I am the CEO and founder of Vukani Concepts.
Molweni, mndangu Asanda wakwaNhlangisa, the founder and CEO yakwaNhlangisa Professional Accountants.
Molweni, mndangu Neliswa wakwazenzile wasesada, the founder kaSingalaka and Someleze Business Enterprise, and eyenza poultry, tent hiring, catering, and also construction work.
Molweni, ndinguzandile Gobeni. I'm a former teacher, one of the few survivors who resign. I'm running a hostel, a 17-bed hostel, self-catering by Kingspark. I'm in property anyway. I have some flats in Kofunvaba and some property allocation. I'm doing social facilitation. I'm working for Uyakanya Investment Holding, planting just for meetings. I'm facilitating them. At times, I'm a facilitator. The social facilitation is different from the facilitation. That's why the emphasizer, assessor and the moderator. Sasazala nkqubo kuthiwa sisisele solwazi phela ukhanje with FM idilishana nokurevise abantwana besikolo. I'm still passionate about education. I'm also at the New Hartford Academy, matric rewrite. I'm all over. I have a down. Thank you.
Molweni, Kamalam Dinguzikhona, ifani nguhala. Ndi founder yesikole ekuthiwa ngu-Stepping Up Preparatory School and ndincedisana His Grace Christian College.
Molweni anisebahle. Igama lami ndinguMintshe Makhaphela Nontsele, yi-manager yase-Brooklyn. We manufacture cleaning detergents, but we also provide cleaning services, carpets, spring carpets, mattress, and even if you we give us a call, we send out someone to come and to spring clean your house or do your laundry. So I also dab up as the Eastern Cape Provincial Chairperson of the BMF, an organization I'm very passionate about because we basically develop managerial leadership, and it would be very interesting to have all of you be members of the BMF so we can see how we can, push this gender agenda, as we call it now, sort of transforming women in various places. Thank you.
Molweni, ngufuneka Shumani. Ndisuka ngapha eNtabethemba. Ndingusisi ozibhiziniselayo. Kodwa kakhulu ke ndikulo mkhakha we-cooperative. Ndizithanda kakhulu. Institution ekhoyo apha edilishana nazo cooperatives apha Cooperative Development Center. I'm a board member there. I'm also a founding member yala institution. Ndine cooperative yami ndibhiziyo, ndiyalima, ndiyathengisa neempahla. Nkosi.
Thank you much, everybody. Kulu for that. And I just wanted to allow Indokokbana, we just give ourselves a round of applause for just having made a decision to start a business. Let's just clap for ourselves for that. The bravery, the courage, the isbindi, the lever of actually being able to do it. It's not easy. It's like, it's really not easy. And it's not easy. Obviously, there are so many different reasons why it's not easy. But it's not easy because, Tina Asna, we don't have... I actually signed a deal this week with a local company. And they signed the contract and it came back. Sure. And then as part of what they're supposed to submit to me is a copy of their registration certificate. (1901). This company was registered in 1901. I felt something moving in my body. I was so challenged. I don't know what was happening to me. I could not understand. Okanye, the concept business, you do it for generations and generations. It should get passed down and to take care of it was on that day. I looked and I was like, wow. And the business is thriving. The business is still going on. And I was was asking myself so many questions. How is it that these children did not sell these things a long time ago? Like from that, why? How is it that they were able to continue it, to carry it, to keep it in the family, to know about this is a generational asset? How does that happen? And then how much are you supposed to do in the few years, 120 years that for some of us who don't want to die, 120 years that you are going to live? The 120 years that you are going to live is the only time. And actually, you're supposed to be getting into business. You're supposed to not only be doing it for yourself, but you're supposed to be correcting a lot of things for generations to come. How does that become my registration certificate for generations? Ending a call you down the line. How do I do it? You know, the manager at the station, one of the days, like he gets into property as well, and we're having a conversation, and I'm asking him, how many kids do you have? He's like, I think he said he had 2 kids. I'm like, hey, Bo, don't you want to try for more, like add a little bit? And he's like, no. I'm like, what are you going to do with all this wealth that you are building, the wealth that you are building in the property space? And he says, you know what, my children are not even interested. I'm trying to rope them in. But I'm telling them one thing I'm strict about. Listen here, Nina, and takes the properties. I'm thinking, when you're not here. If we have not intentionally done a process of understanding, how do we get to be in 2022? Kube company registered in 1901 that is still the best in the business. What so that in Zoyans, there's no knowledge gaps that we have and that we need to close. All right, moving right along, I'm going to be handing over to our first speaker for the day, Anati Gebuza. He is from ABSA. Ne? He's the branch manager for Queenstown ABSA. And he's going to be talking to us about money. He's going to be taking us through the process of finances and let's listen, let's give him a chance. Let's listen and see what is he going to say around that space. And please note questions if you've got something that you want to ask. In fact, you know what? Let me put him right now. Yobana, just take a piece of paper and write as he's starting. What is the one question you have around the space demand? Okanye, the one problem that you have around the space demand? As a person who's Jong, don't write your name. Don't write your name. But what do you struggle with most around the space demand? I didn't like it up. Impulse buyer we impulse buyer. How do I deal with impulse buying? Nobody budget too long. Okay, I shift from my budget. I don't keep to my budget. Okay, I don't even budget. I just, as long as there's money, I swipe. I don't even know how to separate business expenses from personal expenses. It's all there. I get to think about it to ensure that my taxes are in order. So if you just think and put it in the bowl, whatever you have around the space somebody that maybe you'd like to ask or you'd like to say, hey, I have a challenge here, so that we can tackle it as soon as he comes down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am somebody that does not like to be conformed or confined. So, freedom yam. Okay. My name is Anati Gebuza. I am the branch manager at ABSA Queenstown, the hexagon one, the big one, the one that has got the Holy Spirit. Jesus lives there. And I can back that up. I'm confident about it. You walk in, you just sense the Spirit of the living God in there. You know? So as you walk in, but this is a different place. I'm confident about it. You can go to Cathcart Road. You can go to the branch at opposite the post office, but you will find something different when you go to that particular one at the circle. All right. So I am somebody that loves music. I speak through music. I talk through music. It does something. Ne? I know we are looking so gorgeous and we are beautiful, but ikhona nje into ethi sidlule ezintweni ezinzima jalo sidlule ezintweni kodwa njalo siyanqoba. That's my message today. That's my message today. So, as Usistani has said, so I was born and bred in Stekspruit. No, I'm not from Cape Town or Johannesburg. Do up Stek. Apo se kharametse la khona sitlita makhona. It's cause I said when no great. And then we later on, in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, we moved to Bloemfontein. That's where I called home. I call home. My home is there. And I studied my varsity years up at NMMU. So I am the NMMU, not the new one. So, yeah, we're talking about a very sensitive topic. I am in an industry that is very sensitive, that everybody loves. If you are saying that you don't love money, let's be honest, you're possessor. I know what the Bible says about money. I know that it is the love of money, the root of all evil. Sister, the uta yenta ivili lithi soli jikeleze. Rough. It's been bad. Whether you earn a salary, whether you run a company, it has been bad. We have seen people lose jobs. We have seen people moving out of businesses. We have seen entrepreneurs trying to survive. But ke ngoku udlulile apho. Siyadlula mos. So sidlulile ngoku sikwesi stage ngoku of saying we are fixing. So we're here to fix. I'm here to help you fix. Now, fixing is an entrepreneur needs you to be radical. What is radical? I'm not trying to be a politician or I'm not even into politics for that matter. Radical, radical that I can make an example of is Julius Malema. Taking a bull by its horn as it is. Now, if you want to be financially smart and fit, you need to be radical. Let us first start there. Radical means I do not compromise. If I see this direction, I am pursuing it and I am running this direction regardless. Ithi ke loo nto leyo uzozitsweba apha epokothweni as an entrepreneur. Is it going to be nice? No. Let us be honest. It is going to be painful. I'm somebody that loves fashion, and a lot of people buy mandivule boutique. Yeah, yes, sweet as a mad daughter. I love it. I love fashion. I love fashion, wearing fashion. Yo, I love it. I love it. I love looking good. Cool. I love looking good, and boutique maybe is our ears. It's coming. So let me dress your man. Yes, let me dress your man. And ke ndiyayazi into yoba amadoda mo especially amaXhosa anentloko eziqinileyo, but ke zizawuthamba phaa kum because kaloku uzabeziswe nguwe kum andithi to dress him when you know how to soften him. Msapha phaa kum ke ngondimnxibise. Now, as somebody that loves fashion and that is dealing with money, that is very dangerous. it's a very dangerous space to be because uyayibona uqomba yo ayinhle ibi 20,000 15,000 ayibethunana noko sobe ndiphinde ndiyifumane ngale price hayi mandime kancinci mani ikhona lento bendithenza yenza but ngekeme kancinci soze ndifumane nge-50,000 man lento uthi ufonela ichomi yakho ichomi do you still remember that thing that I was talking about? It's from 20 to 15,000. Uchomi, what is Uchomi going to say? Thank you. Thenga mngane. Thenga. Yithathe. I mean, yifavor leyo. Thixo phezu kwakho. Yifavor leyo. And the next day, awunanto ukutya. Abantwana bayalamba. Uyakhereza. So ke ngoku mna mntu single ndiye ndizikhuphe zonke phe wardrobe ndizibeka apha phezu kwebhedi. Looks good. Xa kube ndizifake zonke xa kube ndilale. Kodwa apha chomi ndilambe. Uyayiva ke ngoku. Now, as an entrepreneur, we must understand that if you do not take accountability and be responsible for the finances of your business, you can have the most gorgeous ideas that can generate wealth of money, but it will not succeed. Your business is not going to grow. It will be registered in 1909, but it will not survive. Aizokhula business. Now, if you are an entrepreneur and uthandwa ngabantu, think twice. Awusoze ube yi-entrepreneur uthandwe ngabantu. It's impossible, guys. It's impossible to be loved by people if you own a business. Ilibale lonto. Because people, if ungumntu nice, ungumntu oncumayo kule business yakho mem, trust me, they are going to take advantage of you. Ndizawuza ndibeke istory sam apha. Ndilale ndizibhuqe apha phantsi ndikhale undinike 20,000. Kungenomnye xa ngigqiba uphuma. Abesithi kwathi kwacima kwathi ebethunana kubi kuwo wonke umuntu. But if you are an entrepreneur, ethandwa ngabantu, think twice. No never killed anyone. No never killed anyone, including our family members. The hardest thing I've ever done was to say no to my mom. Because banking, so she thought I owned la Netbank. She thought la mali pa Netbank yam. And Tina's black parents, most those that are parents, sibanalando bandimkhulisile unala ownership phezu kwakhe. Ngongathi uyakowa ngogathi bethekwe ndicela undizisa apha emhlabeni. It was your responsibility in any case. But yesani ndabona into bandiyabethakala apha. Amatyala ayakhula. I'm taking a loan after a loan and andiboni into bandenza ntoni. Ayoyam yonke lento, but I'm trying to assist lo muntu xa ndifika nalapha endlini ngalento bethe uyayifuna. Hayi ndiyabona uba mandibese ndibhatala lo. Hayi mani akho nto yenzekileyo. Then I used no. Akubuhlungu man, more especially to someone you love. Then ndijonge when parents go to retail shops, behamba nabantwana babo abancinci. A child throws tantrums. Kuba yena efuna chocolate. And then umama acinga sizumjonga. Of course we're going to look at you. And it's not judgmental. Nalando ba siyakujonga siyakujonga ba sana nqanda apha. And into yokuqala ezumzali oyenzayo kuthini unqanda ngantoni? Take it baby, take it my child. Unayo qala na? Awunayo. If awunayo, sebenzisa la rule kama gaps. Uyabona umama? Wandinika one look isiqoqo. One look. Uba andibehave apha phantsi kwamakhwapha uzawuza afika nditsho bathi wenza isigqizo ngam akancume ngalamzuzu mna ndimane ndibhityoloza ndisenza ngolujuma wenza isigqizo ngam laa nto ufaka i-discipline phi ebantwaneni bakho, but if you are not disciplined wena kuqala as an entrepreneur you won't be able to do that. Now how do we fix? Back to basics, guys. Grade 10, grade 11, needs and wants. Back to basics. That's how simple it is. We go down and sit down. Go sit down and check what is it that is a need in my space. What is it that is a want? A need is something that we cannot live without. A need is something that your business cannot live without. You can't live without a stock in your business. You are out of business. Tan city mem ndiza kuwe ndicela into ethile ndizothenga your fashion thingy okanye ndiza kuwe mem ndizokwenza braids kuwe in your space and then ungixela uba unayo ifiber. You are out of business. You are out of business. Uba ndiza kuwe mem kwa agriculture ndifuna ii-mealies ndizothintini, there is a different type of ii-mealies endiyifunayo and ubundixelela uba ukwazi. Kodwa you are in this business. We go back to needs and wants. Ukusuka phayana, you list all the needy things that your business cannot survive without. Sisandi, i-business yakho ayikwazi usurvive without i-plumbing. I-bathroom yenantsika yee-tenants zakho mele bisebenze kakuhle nee-taps zakho so that it can be maintained, i-property yakho. Check what is it that your business needs. List all of those things. And then you come to your overheads, your expenses, your day-to-day things that you are running. If you do have a cleaning lady, it's your salary for that lady. If you do have your electricity bill, you know, your renting space and all of those things, these expenses that we know that we cannot pay off, all right? Now, here's the other hint that I would like to give to every entrepreneur sitting here. The tuna, go and open your own personal account as an entrepreneur and pay yourself a salary. An entity, your business is an entity if it's registered, if it's not a sole trader. And then, pay yourself a salary. Zikhona izinto ozawuzidinga ezingazudinga into abazibe expense ye business but your personal expense. You cannot use your personal expense from your business expense. No, you can't do that. Let's fix that. So, and the city is a salary, even if it's 1,000 rand, whatever it is, but transfer the money and upale payana salary. Because awusiza kum ebhenki usithi uzokwenza i-loan okanye there's an emergency, you know, okanye you want to do zikhona ezaa zinto ezincinci zivele zivele apha endlini ungayazi uba kuthiwani utamkhulu uswelekile, no one has got a policy for this person and then you have to contribute. Ezaa zinto, we are black, they do happen. We can't be running to our business siyazibulala. We cannot be chasing after our business account siyotsala imali phayana. And everyone looking at you because we are running a business. Hayi own business, hayi unezinto, hayi uye sizawujonga phaa kuye. Xa beqala bethunana, nantsi yami bank statement nam ndifumana isalary every month from that business. So I can't afford, ndicela sicontribute sonke. Radicalness. Kula radical bendithetha ngayo. Open a personal account where you know that you are, this one has got your own personal doing, your groceries, you cannot bring financial statements zakho uze komuthi anathi I've got this project I'm gonna run and here is it, nanti business plan yam, I'm gonna do this, I'm developing here, funding, okay, ndicela nindiphe noba overdraft from my business account. Xa sikunika la overdraft, obviously we're going to look at the bank statement. Xa sijonga phaa kule bank statement yakho kukhona Queen's Casino, kukhona Tops, kukhona Checkers, kukhona hayi le business kwenzeka ntoni in this business account. And then ndithi mna decline. Xa ndisithi decline, ubuya usithi, banje ke only white people banceda abantu abamhlophe, but your conduct as an entrepreneur. You are not conducting yourself as a proper professional entrepreneur. If you want me to take you serious, be serious about your business. Be serious about what you are doing. You vule an account, your business, and do business in your business account. I-proceeds ze-business, ze-business. Masingabona uShoprite, no Pick and Pay, no boutique, no ntonto, kwesa statement. Because kaloku ithi loo nto leyo, ayinguvula apha. You are not disciplined. And as a bank, I look at the risk. When I borrow you money, I look at the risk. Into about, ithini risk category yalo mntu? Will I be able to collect my money back from this person? And now, because of the times that we are in, izinto zitshintshile, we are more even stricter. Stricter. When you come for funding or when you come for a loan or startup, whatever, it's strict, very strict. We've got accountants. The other ladies from an accounting firm as well? Yes. We've got accountants that are waiting. You cannot have a business ube ungenayo i-bookkeeper's letter, ube ungenayo i-financial statements ne-financial projections ze-company yakho. It can't. Uza kume bank uzofuna loo nto leyo. That's the first thing I'm looking for. That's the first thing I'm looking for. So we've got these accountants sitting around the table and bookkeepers that are here to assist us in that manner. We're fixing. And it's not going to be easy. So when you fix something, kusithi isiqhelo siyayisa emosengqondo ne. So uqhele uhamba ngale lane ngokumele ba uyizwithe uyithi, but ke ngoku ifuna i-total radical change. 360. Siqonde. We are not here for free, guys. We're here because we want to empower one another. So let's beat around the bush. Let's tell it as it is. So, iti lendo lena 360. Needs and wants, prioritize. Go and open yourself a personal account where you're going to do your personal businesses. Make sure that you've got financial statements for your business and how you run your business. Guys, accountants and bookkeepers are not expensive. Trust me. They are very affordable. Very, very affordable. Others, they go as far as charging you based on the size of your business. Are able to sit and talk to them to say that this is what I am doing and this is what I am going. This is where these are my assets and liabilities. They are professionals. They will do what they need to do. Pull up business. So, back and comma up. Any burning questions so far? Yes, ma'am.
So, a question that has been posed to me, and I'm posing it to you as an professional, is that if you're running a small business,
yes, ma'am,
you encourage actually to open a small business, a bank account, a personal bank account. But then the trick to that is that you have to pay tax twice. So you have to pay tax to start of your salary, and you have to pay tax on the income of the business. So how would you advise?
That one is a higher grade one. That is very, very higher grade. Okay. So, when we do our tax returns, we've got accountants that can help me as well here on this one. When we do our tax returns, remember that when you pay your salary, that salary that is going into your account is not taxed away as a salary. And it was batala wena because we are building a repo upper on your personal small business account in your personal capacity. So uzenzele eyakho i-pay slip upper. Do you really pay tax on that amount? No, you're not. So you are an employee of this business. However, it takes you now you are going to pay out of your company. and out of your company tax. So when you do your returns on your business account. So now, as an individual, as somebody who is wena unguwe ke ngoku kula account yakho, I don't see the need for you to do the returns there.
Can I take
Yes.
According to my knowledge, I stand to be corrected, is the most important thing when it comes to when you're paying yourself. I think 2 years ago, SARS actually gave us an allowance, as employees. There is a bracket, right? There's tax brackets, the accountants, there are tax brackets. So I think it's important to look at the tax bracket so that when you have to do your individual tax return, right? Because there's a tax bracket and you see your tax. The important thing though is to alert SARS that you are paying yourself this much. Yes. And then secondly to that, it's also important once you start paying yourself, go and register yourself to Department of Labor. If Sibonile during COVID, it actually helped a lot of companies because Bebenala 1% they were paying to the Department of Labor. So not that you don't have a salary, then you can go and claim. So that's
Kula point exactly.
Just to add on, it depends. If the salary is based on is 7,000, then I'll take. But if 7,000 or more, then and remember, as much as the company they are, but I still have at the same time now the employer or employee
company.
Yeah, so I suppose we but again at the end of the mistake well, but then the plan is better at the same time because and it is a director we have financially because she 795 you want to empower yourself, you want to build your financial growth. So at the same time, open this part of the base 6,000 because Balikali Tech, so we born in land you come out as a person, okay, I'm doing like in the right year.
All right, just to add, so basically, these types of taxes is in the other one is pay as you earn, and then the other one is income tax. Ne? Remember, okay, mandikale apa as well. Xa uyi business usisiku, ne? Le business iranwa sisiku, ne? E-business, it's an entity, sisiku imepa, ne? And then when you also then pay yourself a salary, usisiku nawe njengumepa, right? So if tax was aibadala, you anyway have to pay tax your business because you are paying out of the income that you have generated from the business. And then on this other side, you have earned. Pay as you earn. You have earned as which is the business owner under that personal business account, and then you still need to pay that tax. And then also, I think it's very important that as a fan, you get percentages that you get taxed under the income tax and under the pay as you earn as a fan, but to be honest, Lena business is much less tax than Lena pay as you earn in terms of percentages. Ne? So I think the trick is to be able to sit with an accountant. That's why it's this dingy accountants to advise us, because Sana, there are people who don't even pay any taxes. Like, how do we get to, I don't want to say exploit, use the law to our advantage? How do I work my books to such an extent that I use the law to my advantage? You understand? This allocator and Janizindo. How do I allocate it so that it works to my advantage? So it's about understanding about what does the law say around taxes. Positive. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, ndiyayibulela le nto kakhulu because I'm finding value already on this. Because ndingomnye wabantu, to be honest, ababenzayo abakujoba. Mna ndiyazithanda into ezirayithi, to be honest. And ndithanda nje into ezirayithi. Ndiyiqalile le nto le system yokusibhatala, ne? Kodwa makhe ndiyaniseke ndibe ngumntu ozirholisayo. But into endiyifumanisileyo, there are payments ezenzeka nge-15, ne? Zikhona ezenzeka nge-25. Like ndingenelwa ngemali nge-15, ndingenelwa imali nge-25. Now nakho ukuziqhatha, ndicela ni-advise honestly, nakho ukuziqhatha ebendikwenza. Ndizibhatale nge-15, ndizithathe ngathi ndiqeshwe i-fortnight. Uyabona kulo msebenzi, uyabona? But ke ngoku lo fortnight wam ndizawuphinda ndizithi jwaxa nge-25 ukubone. And ke ngoku ndiyayoyika ngoku ndithetha ngezinto zokuba itax isomandla, heyi ndizawuyibeleka irhwemba, uyabo. So I'm like thinking uba okay, and bendihamba nalo msinga ke kathandi othi ithipa itax andifuna uxoka yebusiness. Yilaa nto ke bindenza ndiqonda uba noba yintoni, uyabona ke i-fuel andinayo kwa i-fuel ekwi-personal ke mna. I-fuel zonke zikubhizinesi, uyabo. And yethi kum iqale ekubeni mos imoto yeyam ndandiyithenge ndingekabi na-business. So I've decided, okay, fine, i-business irenta imoto ku-personal. Ndiyinto lo ndithetha ngam. So and ke ngoku kufuneka ibhatelwe yi-business laa nto yemoto, uyabo, iyarenta kaloku. Okwesibini, emveni koko the very same business lena is responsible for i-fuel yemoto, uyabo. So ukhupheke ngokumcimbi we-fuel. Now ngoku ndiyoyika nje basithethe ingathi kanti ndiyazenzakalisa in a long run because mna ndihlaba ndikhangele much as ndizithanda into ezirayithi, but I don't want to be on the wrong side ka-taxman. Ndiyayibona laa nto ihluphekisayo and imisebenzi emininzi endiyenzayo masibethuna ifuna ndibe rayithi no-taxman, ifuna ndingaze ndidiklerishwe insolvent, ifuna ndihambe ngesidima nesithozelo. So ndiyacela kangangoko, please advise.
Okay, so on this one ndizawuqala ngalena kuqala yenantsika ye-salary yakho, ne? Uyayazi musuroba you've got 2 payments coming in. Then wait for your payments and stick to one fixed date after your payment. It's not going to be easy. Uzayimani uyibona uyibuka. Ibuke ibenhle futhi and then leave it there. Up until you pay yourself, have a fixed date after your payments are done, both the 15th and the 25th. Ne? Sort it out le. Ukuba ke ngoku uthi business entity is borrowing imoto from personal, ne? If a business entity does that, there should be an expense allowance that is there for business that has been allocated for it. And it needs to be fixed, just like your overheads. If it's variable, yenza kanje, uba ngu variable ka 1.2, 1.3, 1.2, 1.3, yeah, understand it. But once it be, namhlanje ngu 5,000, gomso ngu 2,000, then we have a problem. Now, ulahla imali ingekho in your business. Because now, as much as you want to take advantage of when ungu personal sitting to boleke imoto, it's fine. Let it be fixed. How rent imoto kwa Avis? It's what? It's fixed amount. So go kengoku as a director of the company and have a fixed expense towards la moto, and la fixed expense should make sure that it makes allowance year petrol as well. Uyazi into yoba ipetrol esisebenzisayo kule business ngenyanga it's so much. You take accountability ke ngoku of your expenses as well. Ukwenzela into yoba uba uyayimisuse, uba itsibile phayana, then uyazi into yoba ibusiness yakho uzibethile for that money.
Okay, thank you, Anati. As much as this our tech and this picky listening, there's a little advice that I would like to give small businesses. Ukoi businesses is fund analysis that have huge amounts of money coming in.
Because that is very relevant, relative, I mean, very relative.
In your case, I would say that please, as Wanati was saying, that please wait for the money to come in, and then space. If it was space 7,000, stick to it so that and then be another reference yes salary. But then I want to also go into someone who just started Osanda Kala and business here. It's not yet stable and it fluctuates. Ne? One thing about abazibetha kuyo is that umuntu uyazixela into yoba ndizazibhatalisa 4,000. Ne? Next month ayizophuma 4,000, right? So maybe in the first year of doing business, stick to a percentage rather. So that if wenzela 5,000, out of that, I know that 10% their space or whichever percentage that, so that you get accustomed to it. So that is the advice that I wanted to
Okay, ndifuna ungena kulo mba uthe wathethwa nguThandi, making the law work for us. I've been working with a lot of businesses in my business career, without being an entrepreneur myself, and like I'm one of those people. I'm very passionate about business, but when it comes to my own business, but I can make someone else flourish. Like tomorrow. Today you start, tomorrow you are there. But in my experience, in the end, in Latina, especially people of our color, we don't make enough research. We don't, as CSI projects and stuff like that. But you will get people like your family, abadaba in business space with you, that will from time to time, and even if they do pay, but business. So with the company that I'm working in, Google, we were advised, why don't you open a foundation? And every donation upon a from the foundation. So you literally pour in funds higher, so that from the foundation, because that also helps in terms of USARS. I don't have much knowledge about it. It only just started and his pulwas. So also accountants as Koy, if they can help us, but how does that story work? Donations, donations, and you're wondering, and sometimes you don't necessarily donate iman, you donate time, and time for an entrepreneur is money. So
yeah, I think Lena, it's for businesses, is mailing, Obviously, you won't be able to start a foundation if you have a small enterprise that is just starting. Yes, if foundation in terms of tax and tax law, somehow I think it is exempted, but it's something that we need to find information about. I'm not really clued up that much about it, but I do know that they do give that advice, because you will have to have your register for a non-profit organization, and then for it to be a foundation, and then somehow there are tax implications in terms of tax exemption, purposes. All right. But it's a good idea. I'm not sure if there's somebody who would like to comment on that particular. Oh, okay.
So basically, for one thing, I'm gonna try and answer that, and then say that I'll be taking the question from Zodwa, and then Mama, and then we close this part and get something nice. All right. So on the notion of foundations, Swiri, that is exactly how the others are doing it, because it's donations are tax deductible, ne? when you've got like this non-profit, but they have to be registered, and there's a certain type of of this organization that you get to have, where you are able to channel money through and do other things. It's like charity work, ne? And then we're on your books, those donations get to be tax deductible. Yeah, like you get a benefit from SARS. Kuba uya donate kwalapha kuwe kule organization we establish le apha as a non-profit or as a charity organization. You push your other agendas there. These are the tricks we need to learn and understand so that we are using the law to our advantage. So obviously, it doesn't really make like when you're still at startup level, it's difficult to really maximize that because usene balance sheet of maybe $1 million or two, like transfer malinga, because these are millions that get sent the other way. You understand? So it is another way of making the law work to your advantage, but it's for the media mish to the big guys. And in Mtambi, you've got other things that you want to do, like driver, okay, even other type of businesses that you want to do. But you want to channel le mali lapha ingathathwa yotaxwa yonke, and then you just use it on this organization, push those things on that organization, and at the same time get a reduction on your tax on this side. Yeah. 2 more questions, and then we're supposed to wrap up.
Thank you so much. This is so interesting. This is the one struggle that I've had in getting to a place of having a salary. It's having multiple streams of income that the people who were paying me, the clients who were paying me, were not disciplined in sticking to the invoiced date. So you'll find that omnye uzakubhatala wena ingxaki zakho zinge 31st okanye nge-1st, ube ne-client ezawudecide for whatever reason mhlawumbi nayo neengxaki zakho uzakubhatala nge-3rd, omnye akubhatale nge-5th, omnye akubhatale nge-7th. Funeka umane ukhumbuza. It's a lot better than what it was because we've implemented systems that try to meet that halfway. But you do find that in some months, let's say you earn 1,000 rand from each client, and when I'll pay 5,000 rand and buy 5, you do find that some months on the 31st, you've got 3,000 rand. Kukho aba buy 2 bangekabhatali by the date they're supposed to. Now I come to the bank and I say I earn 5,000 rand. Do you look at the fact that nge 31st ibikhona 3,000 rand, nge 7th wangena enye 2? Do you discredit that? Does it have to be that 5,000 rand? And if ingenile yaila 5,000 rand, but a week or 2 later, does that still count as the 5,000 rand?
In this case, if salary yako varies like that, we look at the 3 months. We look at the 3 months. We don't specifically look at the fixed amount that you have told us, but we look at the average of over the 3 months. Yes, we do look at into but upper year of money 3,000. You know, remember that when you borrow money for get business with your company, with the entity, it's different when we do a credit with an individual. So with business, there are other rules that we implement that works on your favor as an entrepreneur. So as long as we can justify to say that as much as baleng mali ingenenge 7th, but we look at the total income that came through as a salary for when individual 7,000 or 8,000, making la 2,000 ingenenge June. So we look at the 3 months and then we take the average of that. Yeah. Sister? If your mic is off,
On the business is start trading for 2018. I may become graduate anyway. But ingathi izawundilisa namhlanje ulearn to babe inkambi zami. Then andanoba mhlawumbi soze ndibanjwe nake ngoku endaphe ndingayisebenzisi ibhizinesi but only imali yami ingena kum yonke imali yami ingu-personal. And ke ngoku ndakhe ndothuswa yinto yobana ibhanki ithi offerishe loan yi-300,000 and I wanted to jump into it. Xa ndiye ebhankini kwafunwa i-proof of income andinayo ke i-proof of income because so kwi-business account yavalwa in fact because ndandingafaki imali kuyo because andiyazi what I wanted to do with it. But ke okusalayo in the space of in economical space I don't exist. Xa kunothi mhlawumbi umzekelo ngokuba ndingaqukelwa yile moto andisoze ndikwazi uthenga moto unless mhlawumbi ndingaba no-cash, of which I know the consequences of just having cash from nowhere. Ndikuloo dilemma ke I think ndandibaleka i-tax mhlawumbi kuqala, but I don't know ngoba ndithi le mali yebhizinesi yonke na as ibhizinesi yam mos ii-properties mostly mhlawumbi should I deposit it in i-business. I don't know.
I-advice yam sisandi apho is that masibuyele back to basics. Separate yourself from business. You need to separate yourself from business. Masingathi sizayibiza mayibe yabo. Separate yourself. Phuma uba i-business izimele mayibe i-business. Okay. Now, ukuba la business awuyisebenzisi ivaliwe totally ibingena account ibingena next kula business ne. All right, so but imali ingena apha ku personal. Sicela ukuyisota out lo ndaba. Iyadinga into yoba la stream of income ndicela ingene kwi-business account. It has to iphume ku-personal iye kwi-business. Now coming to inantsika mhlawumbi kule event ke ngoku where we wanted inantsika i-proof of income, you could have used inantsika i-contract ye-tenants zakho as part of that, yabo, to say that guys, nazi contract ze-tenants zam, this is where the money is coming from, you know. We could have used that, and then kwakhona the type of loan oyifunayo zikhona loans that does not need contracts nentonto. As long as the stream is there with bank account, see, we can actually check into then that's pashash. But in this case, siyayivula la business account. Now, wrapping up, ndizawuhlala phansi. Here is the other thing that I would like to advise every black person sitting here, whether an entrepreneur or an employee, go and do a will. Please go and do a will. It doesn't, all the banks have got financial advisors. Go sit down with a financial advisor and do a will. Imbi inwenzekayo people when we pass on. We end up getting into family matters in the bank because ngoku babambana kwalapha in front of us, kuyaliwa kubethwa nangamanqindi right in front of us. La will, it's 150 rands. Draft the will. It will ihlale. You review your will twice a year. You know? So let's do that. That is going to benefit us as entrepreneurs. Tell Indoba, where do you want your money to go? Where do you want a certain asset to go? What is what? Second last, okay, the very last one, the advice that I'm going to give is, every credit you take, mayihambe ne-credit policy or credit life. La insurance ethi uba ndiyasweleka malibhataleke ityala. Uba unendlu mayihambe ne-credit life. Uba ndiyasweleka the balance mayibhatalwe off, abantwana bam bafumane indlu, i-title deed yonke into, indlu itransferwe emagameni abo. Uba ndine-loan, ndine-credit card, mayihambe ne-credit life. yonke any credit oyithathayo overdraft on ntoni na, because i-life expectancy, let's be honest, yehlile ngoku lapha kwezi age zethu. Once uskipe usikelelekile uphila kwi-grace years. So ke ngoku ithi loo nto leyo, let us take responsibility for our lives, for our generation, nabantu esibashiya ngemva, because when you die you would like into yoba abantwana bakho or your sisters or your brothers kubekho into abayifumanayo from you. Okay, ungasebenzi usebenze so hard, ithi xa kusenziwa xa kuwayinwa i-estate yakho yonke, kuthengiswe izindlu, kuthengiswe into yonke laa mali iyovala amatyala akho. There's nothing that you have left behind for your family. Thank you so much, and thank you for giving me an ear.
Yes, very, very on point. I don't know. I never. You need healing. You need laying on of hands. Nobody better you so that so that you can actually open up to learn something. All right. I don't want to talk much. It's yonke yenzekile mntasekhaya into endizayithetha nje iyi-one into okokubana ke on the point that he was making on in terms of e-wheels ne, right now it's uvulekile mos National Wheels Week, I think, and it's up to the 18th of September where you can go and do your wheel for free. We are you can go to lawyers, you can go to what are those lawyers legal, yeah, yes, legal aid. You can also go anywhere. Right now they're running they do this campaign called September. It's currently running 18th September. I mean, what will you lose? You will not lose anything. Think about it and do it so that you better right. Go Betuna. We are going to be giving handing over to our second speaker, and it is a Miss Gwaka. Miss Gwaka. How do you pronounce her name? Gwaka. Gwaka, not Gwaka. Okay. So we're going to be giving to Miss Gwaka right now. She's going to be taking us through the second, topic that we had decided on. It's about resilience in business. How do you stay the course, stay in power, stay in grace, and what do you do in that space when you are feeling like you are pushed, between a rock and a hard place? How do you do it? That is what she is going to be talking to us about. Thank you so much.
Oh, Chum. No, it's fine, Chum. It's fine. Yeah. Is our blocky content? Morning, everyone. I am a local entrepreneur in town. I was born and bred here. I lived in Queenstown for 16 years before I left, and then I went to the UK. I lived in the UK for 5 years, and then I came back when I was 21, and I've been here since. I just want to thank Madam Eleglam. I think this is the first time we're meeting physically. You're such an inspiration. All the work that you're doing with Microsoft, with MTN, with Yoko, such an inspiration. And I'm grateful and thankful that you found it fitting that I would come and speak to your audience. I don't take it lightly. So thank you so much. I love conversations like this because entrepreneurship, as it's been said before, is incredibly difficult. And it is not a journey that we should be taking on our own. We should be on our journey from each other. And I'm feeling so honored to be in the presence of other entrepreneurs. I think even what I'm looking forward to more than even speaking is learning. I've already learned so much, and hopefully I'll have enough time to have dialogue, to sit and chat with everyone else and learn from your own journeys that you have walked in entrepreneurship. Basically, I'm just going to be speaking my heart. I am a motivational speaker, so I think that is going to come through a lot. But I am going to be speaking my heart today about resilience. And I'm going to be telling you about my own journey. This is my husband, my handsome husband. Andiyonto ngaphandle kala mntu betinana andiyonto nyani. Jongana ngokuza ndenza ndibe mhle kulaa nto ayenzayo phaa. So my husband and I went into business in 2016, and the first business that we've ever done together, it was called the Delivery Chap. It was an errand company. We were running errands for people. I think 40 or 50% of everyone in attendance has used that service. So we did that for a couple of years, and we just threw ourselves in that business, and I hope that it showed. We tried to make it as excellent as possible, and it paid off because the business was growing. It grew to a place where we had to get additional staff to come and help us and grow the business. We got sponsorships from OSAB. We got so much attention that was able to help facilitate our growth, and it was wonderful. And I think in the 5th year of business, when we had realized that we can't run it on our own anymore, we hired staff. And for us, that's when the problems began. Because when we were running it ourselves, we knew, like, it's standard. Now, when you delegate that to somebody else, they might not do it as passionately or as well. So that's what we encountered in our business, and we were growing ourselves. We were not just cooler into other interests and other business ventures that were actually a lot more lucrative financially than what Delivery Chap was. So it was we closed with Delivery Chap, but it was a matter of financial. It was a decision coupled with financial sense, and I think purpose pulling us in a different direction. So as we are running Delivery Chap, my husband and I, my mother passed away, so she left the family home to me and my 5 sisters. And as she left the family home, so my husband and I said, look, let us go live there because we've just started a small business, and imali rent at Queenstown, I miss it, right? So that was one big assistance that came as huge help to us because we didn't have to worry about rent. For personal reasons, we left Sayoshalez Beleni at my mother-in-law's house. Now, all this time, Delivery Chap is thriving. It's growing. It's successful in its own right, but its success has not come to a place of us being able to have our own place to rent. All our money that we saw as money, it was going back to, we would have, at that time, we preferred paying insurance for the car, whatever needed to be paid for the vehicles. That was a priority, and not us having our own place. And that is another thing that I want us to talk about today, but I'm going to get there. Let me not get ahead of myself. I remember at that time when we were living in my mother-in-law's house, I was crying. We were, I know I'm gonna. I am gonna cry. I promise you I'm gonna cry. So as we are doing Delivery Chap, we had made a conscious decision that we're not gonna go into employment because this is what we want to do. And I was at my mother-in-law's house. I think we had Elo at that time. Mulia wasn't born yet. And I was crying. Do you know why I was crying? Because I did not own a teaspoon. I was crying because, yes, I could have bought myself a teaspoon. I could have gone into any home store and buy myself a physical teaspoon, but it was not going to be in my kitchen. And when I was asking myself, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to go find a job that you can get consistent income? And then I was like, no, this is my course. I am going to stick it out. But there was a time when I could not even buy myself a teaspoon. And I didn't have, but the journey of entrepreneurship at that time did not allow for me to have those things. And the smallest things are the biggest things when you don't have them. I said, dishcloth. Dishcloth. If I do, but I wanna keep you know, and that was the
price that we found ourselves having to pay. Fast forward, delivery chap samvala, and we opened, I can't articulate it properly because it happened, it didn't close delivery chap and this started while delivery chap was phasing off. Went into personal development. I got certified as a life coach, and then I niched myself as a brand coach, moved from there, and I niched myself as a business and personal development coach. Now I'm in the coaching and training space. That's what I'm currently doing. So I just wanted to give you a brief idea of my own journey of entrepreneurship before I talk about resilient. We've had our fair share of having to be resilient, and I know that if you're an entrepreneur and you're here, you've definitely had your own share of having to be resilient. So when I was thinking about what am I going to say about resilience and entrepreneurship, I realized that it is impossible to have a conversation of entrepreneurship and not be resilient. I realized that if uzawuthi entrepreneur, this is how you must be resilient. It is no different than going to a pregnant mother and saying, whispering to the belly, okay baby, this is how you must breathe when you're outside the womb. You don't tell a child how to breathe. It has to breathe or it will die. It is no different with entrepreneurship and resilience. You don't have, as not choice. As not choice of having to be. You can't choose. You don't have options. I'll be resilient this month, I won't be resilient. You will not, the lack of resilience disqualifies you. Tell anybody notes, guys, that was good. Tell anybody The lack of resilience disqualifies you as an entrepreneur. So you have to be resilient. We don't choose, we don't choose that. If you don't choose, but I'm going to breathe, you don't breathe, you die. You lose your resilience as an entrepreneur, you are not an entrepreneur, right? So having said that, I want us to look at 5 points that I've jotted down here. In mind of resilience cannot be outside of entrepreneurship. So I'm going to be talking about 5 points. There are a lot more, but I'm just going to mention 5 resilience resistors, okay? Because we have to be resilient. We are resilient, but there are resistors of this resilience that we have. Point number 1. It is incredibly difficult to be resilient in business if you don't have a why. And I know that you've probably heard this so many times before, but you have to have a why. You have to have a grounding reason as to why you are in business. And a lot of times, other people who are not entrepreneurs look at us and think we're in business because we want to make money. It's not the case. It's not the case. I'll tell you why it's not the case. Songe silapha, we have seen people, young and old, behleli etangwendlu becaqamele ilanga. Now what those people do not have is money. Abanayo imali. But them not having money has not given them enough reason to go out and try to find money. So imali klamdu is not a good enough or strong enough motivator for them to stand up and go do something. It is no different with entrepreneurship. If our why is only around money, you are going to run out of energy. Because imali, guys, ukabantu abanxila be broke. Anxile e broke. Ukabantu abaslayer be broke. Umntu weave 5,000. Akanayo yena kodwa la 5,000. So imali, there are many different ways of us surviving without it. It is not an anchor of anything. So we as entrepreneurs, we need to transcend from a place of having it to be about money, because it's not gonna sustain you in moments where you need to be sustained. So what is your why? Is your why to have a generational asset? Is it to make sure that your name is known? You build a name that is gonna go beyond your years on earth. What is your why? Is your why to move out of poverty that you can't even explain Is it to move out of a place of shame? Is it to bring positive change to the community? Is it to improve the health of people? But your why needs to hit the soul. It needs to be an internal why. Imali, external, it's outside of us. But the why needs to be an internal situation. It needs to be something that's ground shaking in your soul. And if it's not that strong, it will not have the strength that you need when you need to be resilient. Do you understand? I think I have a couple of whys, but my strongest, deepest why, my business is very connected, I believe my business is very connected to what I believe to be my purpose. And my why is to make sure that I live out a purposeful life. I want to die empty, and my business on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis helps me achieve that. So know your why, number one. All right? Are we still together? Number two, wanting to outdo the pace of the process. Wanting to outdo the pace of process, rather. So as we know that Jim Rohn, I know we both love Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says there's winter, there's summer, there's spring, and there's autumn. Now, nobody likes winter because winter is the hard time. Winter is the difficult time. Winter is the challenging time. But a lot of times when we find ourselves in winter in our businesses, we want to rush that process. Ibe spring, ibe summer, autumn, anything but winter. But there are so many gems, there are so many lessons, there are so many character building moments in winter. You get to enjoy summer because you understand winter. You understand how terrible winter is. You understand there are certain lessons that you get in winter that you can only exercise in summer. And the process, especially in the context of business, ibangati slow. Ingati things should be happening a lot quicker than they're currently happening. As I said, we were living at thank God, guys, we've moved out and we have our own place. Thank you very much. But in our journey of entrepreneurship, that was the process for that time. We weren't gonna wake up and have millions from Delivery Chap. We weren't gonna wake up and have millions from Global Impact Development Solutions. There's a process to it. Global Impact Development Solutions now is at a much better place than what it was 6 months ago, but that took a process. Who I am as an individual is at a much better place than I was a year ago, but that is as a result of a process. So let us learn to not rush the process. If your process right now says you are earning 5,000 Rand from your salary, good business, that is where your process has placed you. Do you want to be earning 15? Yes. Do you want to be earning 25? Yes. I brought it. This is not Lux's teaspoon. This is my teaspoon. I have this. But I had to understand that that was the process. But what we need to then be intentional in doing is saying, yes, the process has placed me here now, but there's coming a time in my head, in my heart, in my work ethic, there is coming a time when I will have a teaspoon. I knew that I was going to be holding my teaspoon. I did, but I didn't know when. And not knowing when makes time seem so slow. It makes it seem like it's taking forever. It's just not coming. Currently, my husband and I, we are renting. I'm not crying to own a house because I'm quite content, but it is obviously a yearn for me to own my own home. My process in my entrepreneurial journey has placed me here right now. If I would go to ABSA and say we're applying for a home, I don't even need your answer. You would say, not now, wait. You would say, especially with the prices in Queenstown,
But that is my process. That is the, hey, I'm very transparent. I don't pretend to have things I'm transparent. I can't afford to own a home now, but I can afford to rent, and a year ago I couldn't. Do you understand? And that is the process. Trust the process and do not try to outrun and outdo the process. Ukulenda ukuyo, work with what you have towards where you want to be and where you want to go. As long as you keep working. Right? So number one, please call Uma Rose, she's calling me. Just tell her that we're still here, please. Number one is not having a why. Number two is wanting to outdo the pace of process. Number three is being in denial of misfortune finding your address. It's being in denial. These are all resistors of resilience. It's being in denial of misfortune finding your address. Things will go south. That is not a prophecy of doom. That is not me being mean. That is just a reality. We had just hired our first employee, and we were so excited. Because osamthathe Pick n Pay ngoba ndinestaff esisuke Pick n Pay sana mnandi into ziyahlangana, you know. So we're so excited. He was a really great guy. Kade ndamthatha umune benefits mose Pick n Pay, ndamthatha ndamse Sanlam, ndathi Chris nenzabe neza benefits. Nkosi yami, how can I compare myself to Pick n Pay? How do I do that? Ndifuna beneza benefits. Unantoni una RA, faki RA, intoni enye ubunayo pha. Ndifuna na afilishe like he hasn't lost out. That was a mistake. Don't try that at home. Another employee that I had, I called okay, no, ndifuna employee right. Masijonge rates zase McDonald's tin. McDonald's uthi ntoni an hour. Okay, now I was out to this comparison no McDonald's. How do I do that to myself? But anyway, lessons learned. So this one is do not be naive about the fact that misfortune will find you. We've just hired this gentleman and he's working, he's a great guy. And we have recently branded, that was a very proudful moment for us in the business. We had the small car, we had branded it Yonke Ya Green, the first, not a bike, the small one, the first ever delivery chat vehicle. Sienzile Yonke Ya Green. Umntu ehamba phaa uyambona uChep, ayike branding guys, asidlali kwi-brand, yabona mos brandiwe nale. So asidlali, so wonke umntu esithi hey ndibona imoto kaChep, hey imoto yakho ngoba yes that us. Hey ndiyapheka ke ngoku sisezibeleni ndiyapheka. And I'm listening to Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn is talking about seasons, that you will go through winter, you will go through summer, you will go through autumn. Afone umbu, hi mbu, sisonenditshayisiwe. Inhliziyo yami yama. Inhliziyo yami, this is our only vehicle. Personally, phinde bengu-business, asinayo enye into esihamba ngayo ngaphandle kwale. Tutshayisiwe, okay, ndiqonda try to come, because i-reflex, busenzani mbo? Okay, zodwa nayo kwi-shock. Calm down, calm it down. Ndiyaqoqosha. Now komnye phone. Your car has been in an accident. Yes, I'm coming. You know, but I got 20 calls from Ezibeleni to majors. Majors. They're not helping, they're not easing the stress. But luckily, one of those calls was Nodi, Nodi, Chairman. She said she was also a client at delivery chap. What? Don't worry, you're not going to pay anything. You're going to thank you because undeniable why you pay anything. What you know, we're going to tow it for you. Yabe eat right off. Delivery chap. It was the only vehicle. But we obviously had to let him go because there was nothing. But shortly after that, it brought us to a place of having it duck. I don't know, duck. Yeah, so we had duck na yosai brand. So in as much as that was a tragic event, it led to us innovating to something that was
it just elevated our brand even further. It did something that was wonderful. So do not be in denial of misfortune finding you, but be very sober about the fact that at the end of the misfortune, there lies an opportunity to do better. Had we not had that accident, we would have never seen it tak because this is about content and comfortable. After it tak was good, you know, so there was just always that growth that was happening. So do not think bayak takata, bayak lawyer, but this is happening. Tiko has turned his back against you. Misfortune will find you. Things will go south. All right. Number 4. A resistor of resilience is operating at minimal intensity over a prolonged period of time. I'm going to explain that. It is operating at minimal intensity over a long period of time. So what do I mean by that? Every business has different levels of intensity that it functions at. I'll make an example about me as a business, myself. I do this, I do keynote speeches, I do emceeing, I do a lot of speaking. And if I had left it, if I had left it at just that, ndilinde uba unokhanya ndifowunela athi Thomi ndicela uzothetha, ndilinde unodoli athi ndicela uzothetha nestaff sam, I would have been operating at that level of intensity for a very long time. And it becomes very easy to be discouraged because ingati wenza into enye awudufumane breakthrough because you are running around this one mountain and you're operating at this one level of intensity. So what then I realized that I had to do to become an even greater to grow myself was that I had to position myself to a place that was a little bit more consistent in income and lucrative. So I've positioned myself as a corporate speaker. Now andizulinda obizwa nguwhy kwipati, andizulinda ndiyamna kwa Shell ndithi Shell istaff sakho si demotivate. Ndiya airports ndithi airports nidinga lento ngoku for istaff senu and shem ndiveske ndincume ndibe mhle bathi ewe yiza. Ndizawuze apsa bese sithethile ndizawuze apsa. So if I want you to look at your business as is now, what level of intensity are you operating at? Is it low, is it medium, or is it high? And whatever intensity you're currently operating at, I want you to make it your homework to see how you can scale it up. How can you take what you're doing a notch higher? How can you take being a speaker a notch higher? Both operationally and financially. How can you take it up a notch? If you are doing hair, your hair is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. How can you take what you're doing a notch higher? How can your brand be elevated to the next level? You know, when it comes to branding, a lot of people maybe think it has to be a branded car. Branding is the little things. Branding is the little things. It could be a monthly SMS to the how long do braids last on average? So you could have a calendar that you know about and put a reminder to say in 2 months' time, do a check-in with Ozodwa, like a very professional check-in to say, I'm just checking how to see how your braids are doing, if you need any touch-ups to it. Before I think of even going anywhere else, you're already top of mind. So when it comes to elevating your brand and elevating your operations, which will inevitably mean that it's elevating your finances, first look at the little things. We have a tendency and a habit of looking at all the things that we can't do. I can't, oh goodness, I can't at the moment, I can't host a keynote for Twizzler. Because I'm just using the biggest company in town, say I can't so that would then now stop me from hosting a keynote for Ikambani Ganotwol. Do what you can, because you never know what opportunity lies in what you're currently doing. So execute the now as best as you can, And in your mind, have it as though this moment is leading to that thing that you want. I was at a birthday party and I was speaking, and one of the parents at the birthday party, she said, "Ntombi, you must come, you must come. Funeka uzothetha, funeka sikufake kwi-database, ukhona kwi-database, funa ukufaka kwi-database, funeka uzothetha no-government, ezi zinto zithethayo ziyadingeka." Had I said, "Hayi man, 16th birthday party yomntana lena mandenze half," I wouldn't have had the opportunity to infiltrate and penetrate into the space that she's inviting me to. All right, so point is, let us try to take it up a notch. How it'll be different for every business because we operate differently, we offer different services and products. But I want you to be intentional about thinking how you can take your operations and finances to the next level. And then the last one is lack of personal development. A resistor of resilience is having a gross lack of personal development. What is personal development? It's exactly that, developing the person. How do you develop the person? You develop your mind. You develop the strength of your mind. What are you taking in? Who are you around? Board members. No doctor, no designer. But on a serious note, personal development is about growing who you are. There was a quote that said, they are paraphraser, but it said something along the lines of, humans lack an ability that trees have. Trees do not have the ability to stop their growth before the time. A tree that, if it's supposed to be that tall, it will not decide midway that I'm stopping now. But us as individuals, us as people, we decide, and we stop our growth. So personal development helps and assists us grow to everything that we were ever supposed to be. I always say that the development of the entrepreneur, or rather the business of the development of the business is dependent on the development of the entrepreneur. Your business will be as developed as you, the entrepreneur, are. If there are certain aspects of who you are not developed, it will show in the business. So if in your personal life you lack discipline, because it is who you are seeps into the business. The excellence of the business is speaking to the excellence of who you are. The lack of the business speaks to the lack of who you are. So if you want to grow your business, if you want to take your business to the next level, the first step is taking yourself, who you are, how you operate, to the next level. Is that the right way to say it? Sabu coconut rate. If you think that you will do amazing things for your business, but when your level of growth is here, it cannot, your business cannot outgrow your own development. Ayenzeki. No khanyo ke ndimthandile izinto noba ndiyabhuda uyaqhwaba. Right, so there are a few quotes here. I've got 3 quotes by Jim Rohn, and then I've got one by me that I'm going to close off with that are in connection with personal development. Jim Rohn says, don't wish it was, this is now with personal development, right? Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Now this is a quote that we should be living by as entrepreneurs on a day-to-day basis. So don't look at your financial struggles. He says, he doesn't operate with a budget. he sees how to, no, I'm not giving that advice. We should operate with a budget, but I'm just telling you, ukula level though yena ingadingi budget. Uti yena akajongi uba imali yam akajongi into ayifunayo and then ajonge imali anayo. Ujonga uba yintoni elapha kuye anoyenza ezawalawa uba afumane lando ayifunayo. Does it make sense? So now let's say I've got an income of 5,000 rand a month and I want a car that costs me 3,500 rand a month. So obviously I cannot afford that car. So Utiena, he doesn't look at the 5,000 and 3.5. He looks at himself and says, Dinguzodwa, ndonle nayo, eno producer, la installment. So yena, I'm stopping budget, but we are producer within himself. What is gonna allow him to have that car that he wants? And that's what I live by. I live by, yeah, I'm their budget. I mean, I'm Jongani guys, their budget their budget. And sometimes abantu banganjonga bathi awubudget go budget. Guys, being buy one get one free in a week. Budget. Being buy one get one free. A lot of people mistake how I look with how I spend money. It's exactly the same. Le two piece, I'm sure nakela ibona abanye benu ku social. Le two piece nayile buy. That's how I live. Yabona xa kuthethwa go live within your means. I'm live within my means. We have to, because there are certain disciplines that we have to adopt if we want to transcend to another level of success. Guys, if we are not serious about certain disciplines that we need to marry ourselves to. So that's the first quote by Jim Rohn. The second quote says, success is nothing more than a few disciplines practiced every day. Success is nothing more than a few disciplines practiced every day. So whatever success you've accumulated thus far, it was as a result of consistent disciplines that are repeated. It was as a result of you showing up, doing what you needed to do, being who you needed to be consistently. Who I am now and what I am now is not who I was 5 years ago. But there are certain disciplines that I had to implement consistently for me to to be a person that can be approached and say, please and come and speak. Please come and do this. Please come and do this. What we are, consistent discipline over time. And this final quote before I step down is by me. It says, when opportunity locates you, don't make it feel misplaced. By Zodwa. When opportunity locates you, don't make it feel misplaced. When it comes to this, I blow my own horn. You will never give me an opportunity and I will underdeliver. You will never, especially when you pay. If you pay, I give you reason to call me back. I make you see why you cannot live without me. I go the extra mile. I remember with a company that the contract has ended now, but I was working with them from the beginning of the year. We hit a pothole in terms of how many people I could take in a session. That year, I got, do not worry, add an extra day to my at no cost, because it was quite lucrative, chef. That is, add an extra day. I was supposed to go in once a week. I ended up going twice a week because of the number of staff they had. What do you think me doing that is going to do? If I go to that company, if I go to the national head office of that company and I say, I've worked with this branch, please can you call them for a referral and see how we could work together, what do you think those people will say? They will remember that I offered at no extra cost to add a day to the contract, at no extra cost. So I make sure when I grab an opportunity, it tells its friends, but opportunity, make sure Make sure you locate Uzodwa because she will make you feel loved. She will make you feel appreciated. She will make you feel like I romance opportunity, guys. And my husband absolutely hates it because we are safari shayena. I go beyond what I should for a client because I want opportunity to love me. Thank you.
I'm going to allow, I don't even know, but is there still space for a question or two? Like, isn't it quite clear in Dobana what do we need to do in order for us to be resilient? It's so much bigger. Like Uzodwa unpacks it there. Ubonbasana, it's got phases and components and aspects and all the nice words that mean it's a lot of things that need to be done in order for you to be a resilient entrepreneur. But what I cannot forget is that uti resilience is not a choice. It's not a choice. It is not a choice. We cannot choose whether we want to be resilient or we don't want to be resilient. We have to absolutely be resilient. It's like an auto-build function that as an entrepreneur we have to do. She likens it to breathing. So much that we need to do on ourselves to ensure that we are resilient as entrepreneurs. All right, moving to the last aspect, Kengoku. I'm going to ask them to bring okay, Ikshaw, I'm going to give you I'm going to bring we said breakfast. I don't know what it's called now. We said it's a breakfast, but it's an all good session, whatever no be definitions as is mama now. So I'm gonna give to two people. Nokanya is already indicating if there's also someone else who wants to say something, you'd be allowed to do that. Please don't panic if you see this beautiful lady leaving us in the middle of the session, because she actually she's fully booked and busy. so she has to chase something. She might leave while we are continuing with the session.
Thank you so much, team. Jengmandi Mamele Apa Mhlambi, abanye abantu will agree with me. I feel like we need this, like in Manyan Sia. I just want to pose this challenge that we need this. Zodwa NT, listen, I'm talking. Mamela, we need this. We need this because it's enlightening in a way. There are things I think scripture in the Bible, there was a time where Elijah was convinced that he alone is left, or is spared, and God had to remind him, but in fact there is 4,000 more esindileyo also. So when you in your own corner, you builder, you convinced that you're the only one building, and you make as a mistakes mistakes because business and ifuna nje ndizayibaleka itext ndino personal account mna zingena apha he bhene kanti zonke and ubuyazi ngaphakathi ba inomini ngabubungozana lento ndikuyo, but xa simane sidimana, I feel like xa simane sidimana elhlobo izininzi izini we are fastening our growth. One, in fact ndinalanto ithi masikhuleni sonke. Ndifuna uphosa lo challenge ngoku with you running with a business programs and you Yaya, with you Sia, zonke whoever's idea this was, run with this. We need this. Like mna sendigqibile imali le besibhatala, like sendigqibile ndikhonba, like see I like lento siyityile muslimani siyigqibile kusazoyotyiwa medvier uyabo. So kum ndinento ethi this lento ithathayo zodwa ye personal development it comes in these forms. Mhlambi asisuya UJ, asisuya ndaweni Boston, don't. We'll just pop out money and come for us. Ubana sifumane la kick nalanto zasenza sibuye sisithi okay ndiyenza njani lento ke ngoku ndiyenzayo uyabona, so that ibheke phambili. You even through suggestions as light ndijonge kulaa sisi wenwele ukuba laa nto xa ndiba ube nepicture uba hayi ke ngoku ayixoxi nentoni. Mna ke ndiyathanda usapota abantu abalokali yabo. Kwa imasaji zam mna zinto zethu, once sibekwa space ndivele ndiqonda uba ubani uyayenza into ethile. I feel like we need to do this, ingaske sikhuleni sonke. Ndiyanicela noba beningayicinganga noba bebuyitraya unalaa nto uba hayi wethu siyayizama nje, ndiyayicela into yokuba for a black child this is a necessity for us to grow. Ungabashiyi or-anathi because bayadingeka to give us insight, because ibhanka sihambe siyobetheka kuzo ekugqibeleni sidinga izinto zokuma, and ungazazi uba itheni urejectwa uyabo uqonda uba hayi it's fine ndirejectwe kuba ndingumamfene uyithathe personal, but we need to know what is expected out there. So ndiyayicela mani le nto ivele yabekeka apha entliziyweni yam bana ndithi andifuna uphosisa, we need this, we need to go senze imibhatyazo yethu sibhutyuze sithini sizame sithini sibuye sihlala up. It makes us feel better, it makes us look better, iyasikhulisa apha ngaphakathi. And the content itself andifuna uphosisa shame yila content uzodwa ke believes uba ndizithethe ezi zinto I give feedback kuba ndithanda okanye ndingumntu nice, but I give feedback where it is due. Ukubona laa nto iqonda uba but le content guys essentially ifuna siregisterishe lena sibheke up e-UCT or sibheke e-UJ or wherever, and we would spend years there sixhinxa iminyaka sisenza le nto. But if we are able to get it through a session enjena, why not? Ndinaloo nto apha kum bana ndiyacela torho noba siphi noba ndiphi noba ntoni ungadinwa ndimthande manisithi uyibonile le into na. Like I feel like that we need to strive for excellency. And bukhona ubutyebi apha eQueenstown, bukhona ndixelele. I feel like iQueenstown ngumgodi ne, but sonke siyayazi uba ingathi kukho lo mntu manisithi washushu ubani washushu ubani hey washushu laa nto sasiyidlala ingifihla bhanti uqonda uba washushu. Sonke apha silapha nje sikhangela laa ndawo kumasithiwa washushu. But I strongly believe that i-golf club nentoni bahlala pha benza into ezinjena, but abathethi abanayoyoyo njengathi abangxoli. But thina we need to give this for ourselves, we need to do this for ourselves, so that sikwazi ukuthi okay ndibheka kwigaladina nominister ndizodibana into ethile kanene phaya kukhona unodoli kukho into ethile, so that masikhuleni sonke mani, ndicela loo nto qha.
Okay, okay, for me personally, one thing I want to appreciate about this session is the fact that I don't think we are embracing enough in the ends way COVID amongst entrepreneurs. Say it, but we are not embracing it. And the level of vulnerability that we can express kwinto njalo is unmatched. Kumnandi xa sihleli mhlawumbe ndihleli nozodwa ndiyambona hayi uyaflourisha ke ndiyakubona chini uyasayina yabo ndiyamvuyela yabona. And uzodwa ke nonokhanya one of the people that know my entrepreneurial journey yabo, and you'll find that even though I feel close to them, but there are struggles engazukwazi ukubheka ndihlale nazo ndithi hey nokhanya yabona ngoku yabona akhomandi yabo. But in spaces like these we get to share, we get to pour out, and we get to be sponge at the same time. So I mean much support of Lendi Tetong Nokanye. I mean it doesn't even need us ndobana kube fancy kubenje, but when we know ndobana ku content kumnandi ba fancy guys, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying yobana this comes at a fee. umzakele for Uzodwa, yabona. And if some of us can say, like, apha sithi, okay, uzowi uthi charge imalenga. How many of us will it take if we pay imalenga for us to have another session like this? It doesn't really need usiyamthanda uba makabde abe ngathi uyasicenga, because at the end of the day inceda thina into ezinjena, ne? Secondly, I want us thina njengoba silapha, ne? It's well and good that sinale session, but yayazi into ebethayo ke ngoba into ndithanda uyayazi the aftermath, what happens after this, you know, because siyathetha kumnandi ngoku, but then what happens after this? I've attended a lot of these sessions, and now the minute you call me kunto enjena, I don't even think twice no bengena budget izawuphuma, yebo, because iyandiphilisa as an entrepreneur. But I mean, where am I as an entrepreneur? All that money that I've been paying, guys, and it can only happen if there is a plan after. Like Unokanya is saying, sitini, what are we saying? So in aske class session also sipume siyaz nobana, what is the next step? I loved Uzodwa once. She held annual conversations connecting the dots. I think many of us up years. But then after that, wavula a page connecting the dots, where everyone that ever went to connecting the dots was able to go into that space. The conversation shouldn't stop. I guess that's what I'm saying in a nutshell. The conversations must not stop, because it's a continuous outpouring and inpouring of knowledge and wisdom from people that have walked the journey and are still working the journey.
Ndifuna ubulela kakhulu kuSiya. Benikade nirhala ndiyibona lento ku-East London qombe, hey siyayidinga. In fact mna bendiyidinga. And for uba ndiyibone ngoku into yoba actually in business ezi zinto kuthethwa ngazo apha ayindim ndodwa who's going through this. Naba bantu ubona uba hey, they are flourishing with their business already, but baqale apha. Uyabona sisodwa, you were talking to me, uyabona trusting the process kunzima. But uthi xa uthetha uthi keep working with what you have until you reach la nto uyifunayo. Well, it's not easy, but xa uhleli kulaa nto usebenzela unayo, hey, ndiyabulela kakhulu man. Andiyazi noba kususwe ntoni, ndiyafuna ukutsho ndithi ngase lento ibe into siyayenzeka, andazi noba after quarterly or what, but siyayidinga as abantu abakhulayo in business, especially apha eKomani. Yazi, you find yourself ukwibhettle yoba hey ndiyavuka ndiyaphanda, but ufumanisa uba at the end of the day uthi xa ulala uwethu uqonda into yoba ndivuke ngomso, but because of that internal thing ikwenza into yoba uphinde uvuke and try this again. We really need apho sizawufika siphokoze khona, apho xa sigqiba uphokoza kuphinde sivuke ukwenzela into yoba sihambe, because we end up sifuna ukubaleka kule Komani, because we find ourselves sisodwa, we find ourselves sino masipala ongahoyi into yoba there is someone there who is trying alone. We don't get assistance, but I think ngokuzenzela kwethu, and I'm so proud of ukubona amakhosikazi elapha isitsodwa ladies, and we're trying. For me motivation enkulu kakhulu sisodwa. I really wanted ndakudala ndandikhalela the moment yoba ndike ndibane nani, ndibane noSiya, and seeing nenye client yami kwa-Absa, yabona la Absa lowa, ndiyabulela kakhulu, and I really needed this. Kulaa kona yam bendikuyo, even though people are seeing you shining, but you internally, it is not easy. And I really needed the development mna kuphile mna qala, so that u-AVJ's kitchen kwayena azokwazi ukhula. And after namhlanje, after today, I think ndizakwazi ukumbona ndithi u-AVJ usuke from here to there. Enkosi kakhulu. Yeah, I said the feedback. Wow, Namenda Lindelo Landelayo, but who else is speaking? You also want to speak? Oh, okay. Mushroom. Okay. And then after Umashumi, we are going to be giving to Usia. Usia is going to be just talking to us on oh, ish, I cannot not see that hand. So it's going to be Mrs. Shumani, and then after her, Minty. And then after that, we're going to give to Sia to just give us Sia. And I think you should do everything together. You speak, and then after you've spoken industry, Sia knows a lot of industry knowledge that we need. So she's going to touch a little bit on just industry and how to succeed in any industry that you're in, and also do the vote of thanks. And then we go and bounce out of here.
Inkosi Mali, ngiphinde ngibulise kwakhona. Mina ndifuna nje ukubulela le session. Ndibulela into yoba ndikhona nami phakathi kwayo. Ndive inhliziyo yami iba buhlungwana xa anathetha esicacisela ngendlela yokuphatha imali. Mna I think ndiyalekhisha kakhulu, bendilekhisha kakhulu. As much as bandingumuntu odiscipline when it comes to money. Imali yami yebusiness andinayo business account because ndibalekela into ye-tax. Andinayo business account, but imali yami ndivele ndiyithathe ndiyoyifaka kwi-savings le ndiyenzayo ye-business. Mhlawumbi ndivule into ezifana lentuka investment, then andikwazi kakuhle ukuyiqhuba ngokwecala le-business nokuzipolisa isalary. Bendingazazi zonke ezo zinto uba zimele uba ziyenzeka kwi-business, but ndivuyile namhlanje into yoba ndiyifumene this information. And I think eyona nto isibulalayo nakula mashishini wethu siwaqalayo ukuvele sizenzele ngoba une-passion. Ungabi naye umuntu o-professional mhlawumbi oza ku-advise uba ngabe umele uyiqhuba kanjani ibhizinesi yakho, because mna ndine-incomes ezahlukahlukeneyo nyhani ke. I need i-advice yokuba ndiyenza njani sibe kwibhizinesi eyi-one, so that ndikwazi ukuba nam xa ndifuna uncedo ndikwazi ukuncedakala. So ndiyayibulela kakhulu le-session, and ingathi ingaqhubeka nyhani. Nam ndiyayipota into ethi siyazidinga iiplatform ezikumila kunjena because siyafa ngenxa yokuswela ulwazi. So uba ke sithe salifumana ulwazi sizawukwazi uqhubeka sibheke phambili. Enye into endingase ndiyicele kukuthi endiye ndiyibone uba iyasibetha, uba ndifika usisi enebhizinesi yakhe eseyikhulile ebheka phezulu, xa ndifuna uncedo akafuni kundinceda. I think yenye into esibulalayo leyana, ngoba uyaye emntwini uyobuza into yoba ngaba wena uqhube kanjani ude ufikelele kule level, ufike kanjani, but ufumanisa uba sivimbana information kwasodwa. Then asifani tu naba bantu bangaphandle because uyababona bona bayasebenzisana. So ngaske nakuthi i-mindset yethu itshintshe uba xa undicela i-advice kuwo okanye ndicela undinike information ngezinto ezithile, ndingabi nento ethi hayi okanye uzawuphumelela okanye uzayithatha lento yam ayoyenza kwenye indawo. Ayikho loo nto. So ingaske nyhani sike siqineni sizibonakaliseni. And come to la ndibithethwa ngusise sithi sometimes asikwazi uncedakala nakurhulumente. Akakwazi usinceda urhulumente because asikho united, asikwazi usebenzisana kunye. Kanti uba sithi mhlambi le nto siyakhe ibe si-structure esithile esizawuqhubeka ngaso, kumane kuba khona nyhani ke ezi-session nakwabanye abantu abadifferent abanosenza sikhule sibheke phambili. Ndiqhwabela izandla kakhulu.
Thank you so much. So I think nam ndifuna ukubulela, andisena wari ndiphoso nguzodwa.
Ndifumene i-call ngokube ndihleli kwelaa cala uba there's an interview I had to do on radio, so I quickly had to step out. But mhlawumbi ke ngoku it's not going to be a question anymore, but you know, something that I will say that I learned from uZodwa, because andizombuza benzambeka on the spot uba bendikhona ngokabethetha ndithi how has relationships with abantu abamhlophe helped her, because ndiyambona mos uZodwa, especially ngowaye-delivery chap akazibandezi. You know, so that's the one thing mna I think I've taken from her kwi-journey yakhe, in that ngoku yapha kubus John lo ndanikade ndimoyika ndithi, you know, and you'll be surprised at how they do give opportunities. They are receptive. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly is the importance of having a mentor. Iya kumntu who's been in the business longer than you, black, white, colored, Indian, noba ngumntu ongutata, noba ngumntu ongumama, you know, so that you can have this constant person that you are going to bounce ideas off. Nakubo, they bayayibhala nakwi-profile uba ndiyi-mentor, mentorish uzibani. So don't feel that when you go there and you go and ask someone uba makabe yi-mentor yakho, uzawuthi hayi okanye uzawufilisha ngathi, because it's like an hour, and an hour a month, you know, uphokoze ingxaki zakho naye exelele ingxaki zakhe. It really assists. That's one thing mna I've found uba help. I-mentors zam ke ngabelungu. You know, but also it's important that ube naye nomuntu omnyama who's because ne-advice ayizofana ncamashi, in the sense that I remember when Nomam Pumzile, I'm not name dropping, when Nomam Pumzile the other day, and I'm saying, Bamna, my struggle is that while I have to chase business, I've got kids. Weekend and I can't, you know, because I don't have the time, and it's as exhausted if I'm going to be everywhere. But at the same time, you've got to give them the level of respect. So now my problem was having to deal with everything that's going on in my life. So I needed advice. So I'm saying, Oba, get that older person who you can speak to, who you can relate to, who will give you the advice that you need. And lastly, of supporting, I believe over one conversation at a time, we will get to supporting each other. Let's not give up. Let's continue having this conversation. Let's continue speaking to each other. Let's continue. When I'm supported, the next one, and don't focus. And you see, now I've been running a Brooklyn for 15 years. Up command, but people, ngala multi clean one, as a sofa one go super clean. Just because it's uminti, like of course is that because it's not like super clean. La mlungu za clean ngokwakhe la couch uzawuthatha la mama nam ndimthathileyo ahamba yoclear la couch. It's just so I want to say, let's not give up. Continue. Eventually you are going to get to where you want to be, and we're going to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful, beautiful input. And I think there's a lot of opportunity that's there, but there's a lot of fear. Now I was kind of, you know, forced because my boss was like, on your show, I want them, now bring them. I was like, I don't even know how to strike a conversation. But there is this mental block, or I don't know what it is, where I'm feeling like, am I worthy? Can I do it? Can I understand? The first time I did it, when I said I signed a contract that I will also benefit from, it was with a and can you last in 5 minutes la meeting? I promise you, not even 5 minutes. And then I was like, I will. Which means we are sitting on a lot of things that we could be benefiting from, just because we're not going to go to that world. We have and so many different areas, not just pitching. Someone, if you know what your story is and you know what you're offering, how many people have you pitched to? Not your chomzak, not your oikos, not your family. Outside that, like literally we cold market and just pitch something, you'd be I get shocked. People listen quickly foot because you make sense. We actually people that make a lot of sense when we convince ourselves otherwise, but we make a lot of sense. Like, just convince yourself that you make sense and just go with it. Sia, I'll give it to you, sis.
Thank you so much, Tandy. Yo, abantu bathethile apha, and I feel like I don't have anything to say. Molweni, kwaba bendingakhange ndibabulise. Hi Tandy. Igama lam nguSiyamthanda. I know abantu kudala bekhangela lo Siya. So ndim uSiyamthanda. And I think I'm the person who has invited you guys here, of course, with the help of Vukani, because kukho le nto intoba asimazi uSiya. Usiya ngubani? I mean, ndim lo. Okay, so my duty today is to talk about secret ingredients to win in any industry. And ndinewari nisitya because you're gonna need incwadi, because this is a mini masterclass. Firstly, before you guys listen to what I have to say, I think it's important that I give you a background. Ndikhulele apha eKomani, and I'm matriculated apha, ndahamba ke ndahemazweni. I think that's why people don't know me. And I have worked, or I have been in business for 5 years. This is our 5th year. We're going to be celebrating our 5 years. Uyanela actually wanted to come to our 4th celebration because it was a big thing in East London. I have worked, I think it's important to mention that I have worked with Microsoft. I have worked with MTN, with Yoko. I have worked with other local hubs, we call them hubs. Nelson Mandela I Hub, Codex Hub in East London. There are some others that I'm trying to work with in Pretoria. I'm sorry to break it to you that I have moved out of Eastern Cape. But and in Lahlanga, and I think that's the reason why I decided to host my first event in Queenstown, East London. I am also the board members. You know, I'm something. So I am a member of IBRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I think it's part of NYDA and all of those things. Yes. So I'm a member of that. I'm also proud to say that I was one of the Mail and Guardian 200 young South Africans this year. And then lastly, I was top 10 in MTN, Women in Digital Business. And I think that's why now I am going to start. Hold on to get up Bible verses. There's something in the Bible that talks about 7. If someone can explain 7, what does it stand for? Perfection, right? So I want you guys to go out of this event with perfect businesses, because I'm going to share with you 7 ingredients that you can use in your business in order for you to win. Uzodo actually untatele point. Untatele point, but I will mention this, that the first ingredient is starting with your why. It's really important. I know bana kuthethwa ngayo, like in each and everything that is business related, but starting with your why is actually important. You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Ne? You can never start a business ungena reason. And your reasons may be around 7 areas of your life: your family, your friends, finances, growing yourself, physical well-being, spiritual work. In those 7 areas of life, that's where your why lies. Because it could be your family, mhlambi uyasokola, and you see that you have the potential to actually change your situation. So it's important to ignite that person, and that person starts with why. Now, it is also very important, Ndoba, Uzoda spoke about personal. I think she spoke about you as an entrepreneur. But now I want you also to look into your business, right? You look into, okay, fine, I have this personal vision. I have this purpose. Now you have to align that with your business, right? The business will align with you. Even visions zakho as a person, the purpose that you think in Dobana is what you are called for. It needs to align with your business. CC, you didn't start agriculture because, I mean, it's the in thing now. It's because you had something that wanted you to start that business. And this is why, because yes. And then the second ingredient, and this ingredient is actually something that most entrepreneurs they fail at, or they get it wrong. We get it wrong, right? Even me myself in my journey, I have gotten it wrong until I went through incubation, which is something very important if you are in business. Get yourself into incubation, a program. It will really make a difference in your journey. So this ingredient is market matters most. And this market matters most has 4 parts to it. Mini masterclass. So there's 4 things that you need, or this ingredient that you need in your business. And I'm telling you, if you get this right, you will be like myself, Sebens and no MTN. But anyway, the problem, right? What is the problem that I'm solving? Once you have mastered or answered that question, then you have a solution, right? Which is lenda uzawuyenza. So what is the problem? What is the opportunity? And when you have found that problem, you are going to have the solution, meaning that it's the product or the service that you will be rendering, right? And then the most critical parts now is the other 2 things, which is the market. Dithengisela bani. And if you can't answer that, then you don't have a market. The market, who will buy from me? When? How? As new businesses, you have to understand that they are seasonal, right? So you need to also understand, Ndoba, during the time that I won't be selling to this person, now this is what I will be doing. And then I think that is what Uzodo was saying, that she has multiple streams of income, right? So that also means that you understand your value chain. And then lastly, the 4th part to market matters most is the money. Undoqo. Because uyayazi into yoba nantsi ingxaki, abantu man ababinazi breeds nice eziyazobonanga, yabo? Then you will find a solution, right? And then you will find your customer. And please understand that not everyone is your customer. And once you have find your niche, you will find the money, right? Okay, so moving along, because wow. The 3rd ingredient, one thing that I didn't mention right is on the 2nd ingredient, once you have the problem, you have your solution, you have seen your market, and money is coming in. That is a business model. When someone comes to you, not only, and asks you what is your business model and what do I pay from your product, you go to a certain place not because of the product. Breakfast, but you come here from the aesthetics, right? And that is what you are paying for. So that is also something very important to look into your business, is that you're not selling a product, you are selling a feeling. You are selling the experience that the person will get from your product, right? Okay, moving along to the 3rd ingredient, which is very important, which is something that I struggled with myself. It's all about the people. If there are no people, there's no money. If there's no money, there's no market, right? And there are 4 models that I think are really important in order for you to master this part or this ingredient, right? And you see, as also mashishini abancinci bakhasa umama ke uthi ndiyakhasa, of which no, I'm not. Come on, is recruiting, right? Yinto apho leyo esingayikhathalelanga that we overlook. Recruit carefully. And when you are recruiting, you do not, it's important to look at someone's skill, but eyona nto ibalulekileyo is attitude. Laa mntu uzamqasha, iskill ungamfundisa. You train people, you get to espa bakutrain uba inatseka uyenza njani, ne? But the attitude is the first thing that you need to look for when you are recruiting. Because that person, I think kukho abantu abathunyelweyo apha, ne? Ubhatalile u-CEO okanye founder, ne? But there is someone that they have put out, indoba hamba mbomela mna. If she had an attitude engazo represent a company, it would have been a problem. So it's important to recruit carefully and attitude first. Secondly is respect for self, you as an entrepreneur, and respect for others and for your work. Uzodo, I think, said it. I think I'm going to always refer to what you have said because you are the last speaker before me. Respect your work. Uba avile, you are serving people a frontier and you only gave them half of yourself. They will also come half of themselves. When you're doing something, it's important to go all out because people appreciate not the service, but who you are. People buy us before they buy our products or services. Abantu, they come to me, not because we have the best company or whatever, but bazakusiya, right? And then lastly, third point is recognition, which is something esingayenziyo. It's important. I have a business coach from MTN, and one thing they always emphasize is recognize your employees. Recognize abantu osebenza nabo. I used to think, but why does government give out bonuses? I've always questioned myself, like, what's the, why? But that is recognition. They are recognizing, and I think the answer on during your birthday month, yeah. So they are recognizing you as a person in Doba. Yes, we acknowledge that you are working here, but we want to say thank you for, servicing us and servicing our clients or customers. And then lastly, after recognize, it is reward, right? You reward. Uriwadwa ke ayo bonus. Uriwadwa ayo bonus. You can go uye ekomani health shop, uyothenga vouchers pa, and reward someone for some. Mhlawumbe kuwenele deal okudala wena bukusokolisa, right? Those things, they actually influence ababantu sebenza nabo. They give you banika lanto doba hayi sana nenhlala lapha ka Eleglam. Yabo, I must stay. Unodoli funeke ndimenzele laa nto bekuthe uyayifuna. And it makes her happy because you have gone an extra mile. So rewarding is really important. And then secret ingredient 4 is be reliable. Being reliable is it's critical. It's one thing that is important in business. If uthe uzawufika uzodeliverisha ukutya ngo-12, you must be there at 12 because lunch yabo is between 12 and 1. Wena ke ngoku uzawufika and I know you're always late. So if when you are going to get uzawufika late pa, avile man ufika late, so masikhawuleze sifumane laa mntu. You see, now you are cancelling yourself in other people's mind because you are not reliable, right? And most SMMEs, they get this wrong. I want to also emphasize that there are also 4 things ndenze e-accounting and I work in technology, so we work in systems, so it must be 4 or 5 or 7 or, you know. So there are 4 things that I want you to, it's actually the equip model in this secret, being reliable. It's the equip model. So being reliable means that you have the equipment, the resources, which is staff, machinery, finance, technology tools, yonke lonto, in order for you to be reliable. Because if awunayo equipment, uzawukwazi njani udeliverisha eli? If awuna staff, resources, uzawukwazi njani udeliverisha eli? And then secondly, it's quality systems and compliance. I think this one is important as well. E-systems, it's something that I had to teach myself. And when you're talking about systems, you're not talking about technology. I think that's one thing entrepreneurs battling and zinto fancy or what, but you create your own systems in your business. Uba uqale wenze le, uhlambe izitya, wenze le, that is a system for your business. And it's important that you follow it so that we are as but I take this long to do this, right? Moving along, the third one is the inputs. Awuzukwazi kalo sana avile uposte izolo ndoba uzaba nekota ene Russian nentonto. When I order tomorrow, you don't have it. Hayibo, awukho reliable kalo. So inputs are really important, that you always have stock. What you put out there is what you have. Please don't sell us dreams, right? And then 4 is profit and planet, which is indlela opricea ngayo izinto zakho. I change. Please DM me for prices. No. Please, hayi usisi ndiyambona yena ba ingathi uzayibhatala 1.2. Hayi melita yena 600. No, that is being unprofessional. And you are not being reliable, because you do not know the chance indobana ababantu batete and they exchange. No, I actually paid 600. I bought 1.2. How come? You're not reliable, and you've lost 2 people now because you don't know which one is the exact price, right? Moving along to number 6, which I think uputi uyawazi ngena kuyo. But I wanted now ingene in a business sense. I think uput anati, it was more personal, but this one is business, right? Once this is the problem, the solution, this is my market, this is how I get money, I have all my resources in place, I am a reliable person, and then the next systems and all of that. Then we are born again, Windoba. Kulapo up on the lekisha corner. Right now, this ingredient is called investment readiness. Now, I think it's only this year that I started, I got ready for investment, or I got ready for funding. And I had a reason for that. People were like, NYTA, apply 50,000. But I didn't know what I was going to do with the 50,000, because the Yami business is a computing. I don't need to buy anything. I don't need to do easy. I just sit down, I create a website for a person. I sit down, I write a business plan. I sit down, I do that and do that. So I didn't have a reason for me to go and seek funding or and seek investment until I was ready and I got it. Anyway. Thank you. So investment readiness is the all-round strength of the business. You know, once you are ready for investment, we are cooler now as yourself, because now uzawujongana ne millions ezizawungena phaa ebhankini yakho. Isiqalo uzakunika 2 million. How are you going to manage that money? Are you ready for it? Right? So it's an all-round investment readiness strength of the business, right? And once you have decided that you are ready for funding, you are ready for investment, I need you to do this. Write your strengths of your business. We're talking about the business now. These are the strengths. I-business inazo imbiza. I-business inayo yonke cutlery. But into esingenazo zizitofu. So that is your weakness, right? And then you write opportunities. I have so many customers in this place. Let me move my business to that area, right? That is an opportunity because you are serving more people than a auction. Then what is the reason for you to stay there, right? And you also check for threats. It's really important to also check for threats. Okay, bakhona abantu bathengisa apha, and how much are they charging? So that you beat your competitor. Ungazikhubazi kodwa. Ungazikhubazi kodwa. It's also important in Dobana when you have decided that you are ready for funding, you are ready for investment, you have a snapshot of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Uputi talked about financial statements. He talked about financial projections, and that is what, in simple English, that is that. You need to know in Dobana, izolo ndenze 500. Namhlanje I plan to make 700. So I'm planning to make 1,000 rand. So that is something that actually pushes you into you meet your targets. That's why you'd find as company kukui targets. That's because they have a snapshot of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And that actually boosts you or grows you as a business. Indoba na they are up on the jongekon, right? And then lastly, investment readiness is a way to build confidence in you and your business. And there is no other way. Indobana, you ask your questions. Indobana, am I ready? Will I be able to manage this money? Do I have the necessary things? What are my needs? Anati said it. Write your needs, zindonezi, that you need. What do you have? What don't you have? Right? I actually have a joke here. Ebuzai, the investor is asking, Ndoba, where's your cash flow statement? Where is your profit and loss? What's the risk in your business? Can we trust you with the money? And then your answer would be like, but I thought you guys liked me. Liking is not liking is not going to be it's not going to make us give you money. It's not telling us that we must trust you with our money. It's not telling us that you can manage, to use this money. I am very broken. One of the services that I offer in my company is business plans. And I have millionaires, by the way. I have companies that, gotten millions. Yeah, so Indo ends up shungu is that there is a company that I assisted 2 years ago. Uputi went out of 9 to 5. He was working for one of the insurances, I think it was Old Mutual. So we are Zazi systems. We are Yazi Honge Lando Yenzekapa. So he was like, I can run a business on my own. Unkosikazi wakhe wa unzakala wafumana imali ke. So she gave the money to the husband. The husband resigner, and then they started a business. But Mos, when you have not been running a business, you don't know how to manage the money, right? Then they came to me, Sia, we need help, we need more funds, and sifunu kulisa business here too. They were only selling insurance at that time, working with other insurance brokers. I think it's something that you can do. So bonake ngokubebe funa ungcwaba, right? The financials are looking good. I did their business plan and all of that. Bathengelwa ke caskets kwayilondo. Telling you now, their company is being liquidated. That is because they were not ready for the second capital, because they did not know how to manage. Right? They couldn't manage Leah. So right now we are sitting with that case. They're being liquidated. So I do not want
any of you here to go and ask for money. Yes, money is available. Guys, imali ikona. Imali ikona, it's sitting there at NYDA, sitting there at CEDA. Well, they won't give you money, they will give you service. Wamaspala, the office of the premier, there are not MTN, but anyway. But anyway, money is there, but be sure that you are ready for the money, right? You cannot fix the holes before adding the water, because and what has happened to my client will happen to you. Millions ke kuwe, but it will be a lot of money in your case, right? And then Divale with secret number 7, which is data is the new dollar. Data is the new dollar, right? I think I want to put this in a very simple English and say, if you are not recording the people that you serve on Monday, on Tuesday, until the end weeks, until iphele iveki, then you cannot say indobana next week these are the people that I'm going to meet. You will also not be able to predict the money that you are going to make the following week. So data is not about uvulu Excel and all of that. You can have your notebook to choir and start customizing yourself. Uzqhelisa indobana, you record. And I just want to give you a very simple cycle that will help you with collecting data, right? You define the impact, right? So uzobalbana, this data is for me to just collect clients. La data we collect higher, it also helps you to go and find, use right? Are you still good? Do you need a fill up for something? Right? So you are intentional of the data that you are collecting. Secondly, you align to standards. You align the data and about, okay, this is how I'm going to put it. This is the use for it. And then you measure. Measuring, I signed 2 clients today. I signed 4 clients, and then so you align your data. And then lastly, you analyze and report. And there's nothing that I will, what's the word? It's really important to analyze and report. My coach will always say, test and measure, right? Testing and measuring is really important. I think it's the same as analyzing and reporting. And that way, you have your ingredients, 7 of them. You have your ingredients to win in any business. I can't ndithi kwa fashion, can't ndithi kwa technology. These secrets, you will use them. Business. If you use this, you will win. Thank you so much. I'm supposed to be thanking people. Thank you so much. I hope what I have said today will help transform your business. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank you guys for honoring the invitation. I don't know how we pulled this, but it was within 2 weeks, and I think I kind of annoyed some people. Don't be breakfast. So I would like to really thank you guys for coming. Nashia amashishini enu. I also want to say congratulations, because you have a business that you have left. I'm going to assume that your business is running whilst you are here, because you have built systems, right? So I want to congratulate you guys and say that you have done a really great job. Someone said that it's even a good idea to say in Dobana, to even start a business, business is not easy. It has not been easy for myself. And the reason why I chose resilience for this, the theme for today, was to actually show you, Indobana, you are not alone in your corner. I may be working with the government in Botswana, but I have also gone through the same journey that you have gone through. And the business, I keti bala, I keti age, uba uyagoa cha, uba imali aingeni. So Galomazwi, I would really like to say thank you so much for joining us. I think once we are done with eating and feasting, we will take a group photo that we can share on social media. Mandivale, before I say a lot.
Thank you so much, Sia. That was beautiful. Siyabulela kakhulu. I can talk a lot, so I'm just entertaining. The only thing I'm gonna say is that we have noted that we need to find a way of structuring these manesizenza. We also need to find a way of a plan post, like a continuous implementation plan that goes beyond these sessions. How do we keep in touch? How do we provide support to each other even after event iphelile, right? And ngizawucela umama Shumani asondele ucinga ba uphunqukile because uye waphunquka ekuseni kwathandaza mna andiziphinda ndithandaze ngoku kaloku bethuna iBhayibhile. I cannot be no, never. We have to share the responsibility. So thank you so much, ladies, for coming, and gentlemen, siyabulela kakhulu that you came through, and it's beautiful that you honored us with your presence. We truly appreciate it, and we have noted we need to do something about a continuation. We're going to see about how do we do that now. Mam Shuman, please come pray for us and close, and then once we've closed, we can knock all flight bangayileka, we can eat, and we're gonna take a group photo with abashikile abo bakhoyo sawufota nabo kodwa a lot of photos were taken during the session. Cela umuntu aqiniseke ubhalile kula attendance register so that we tag each other for the photos and stuff. Sikwazi nozithumela those that we can.
Enkosi Miss bendizawuthandaza ke nyani ekuseni kodwa ke ngokungayithethi loo nto ngoba ndibhudiswe kwanguwe uba ndingafiki ngexesha. Andiyazi kodwa ke ukuthandaza kukuthandaza, but ndifuna nje ukudlula phaa kulaa ncwadi yeGenesis chapter number 2 verse 15 ithi uThixo wamdala umuntu wambeka emhlabeni ukuze awusebenze umhlaba. Ndicinga into yoba silapha ngaloo nto ngoku ukuba sisebenza umhlaba. Xa sijonga nje kancinci uThixo akathethi kakhulu ngento edibene nomsebenzi wokuqeshwa, uyazohlukanisa kukho iwork kukho ijob. So uThixo xa unoyifunda kakuhle iscripture wayengasabelanga into yoba siqeshwe ngokukaThixo. Yiyo le nto sizama ukuthukuza, sizama ukulandela ilizwi kahle likaThixo ngale nto senzayo. So uThixo ke funeka sincede kuyo yonke le nto ngoba xa sizawusebenza simshiya ngasemva sizawufumaniseka sibulaleka. uThixo akafuni sibulaleke ngoba ezi zinto zonke usinikile. It's just that thina ingqondo zethu ziye zifune ngeyazo indlela. Xa sizawuthandazane ndicela sithobeni nje inhloko. Bawe egameni likaYesu waseNazaretha, Inkosi yamakhosi, siyabulela Thixo wethu engcwele ngale session. ube nguThixo ubonakele kule ndawo. Sincede ke Nkosi sithi xa sisuka apha siyokusebenza izilungiso esizenzileyo kwibusinesses zethu. Sipha amandla Jehova ukuba ngaba siwenze lo msebenzi ngewisdom yakho. Sigcobe namhlanje Jehova, usigcobela ukuyosebenza amashishini wethu ngendlela efanelekileyo. Sigcobe izandla zethu zithi apho zithe zabamba khona kwande. Usigcobe inyawo zethu apho sinyathele khona sifike kungekho themba kodwa libe khona ithemba. Sisikelele Jehova ngokuba sibahloniphe abantu abaziklayenti zethu, ngoba sometimes asikhuli ngenxa yento ba asikwazi unakekela iklayenti zethu. Sincede ke bawo kule ndawo, usigcobe lezo zinto. Sihambe apha sigcwele intsikelelo, sigcwele ukudla sikufumene kule ndawo. Siyabulela Thixo wethu namandla onke. Siqhubekise njalo, yenza indlela. Awucingi wena Jehova ubahlanganisa abantu ungenayo injongo. Ikhona injongo, uyasibona siyathukuza, ufuna ukusiphakamisa ngendlela yakho. Sicela wena ke Jehova, naxa sisiya kumashishini wethu, naxa sihlangana neklayenti zethu, masiqale sicele wena, sikubuze ukuba ngaba kufanelekile na uba ndiye kule ndawo, kufanelekile na into uba ndiyenze lento, ngoba ezinye izinto siyazenzela ungekho wena Thixo. Siyabonga ke kulemva kwemini ngegama lika Yesu Kristu, amen.